Hey everyone, welcome back to Chicken Cindy's, and today this Dolomite's gonna get one heck of a makeover. Let's get into it. I really like this bike quite a bit, so I decided to just kind of go ham and get it upgraded. So the entire point of this video today is going to be getting a lot of this stuff off and a lot of new stuff on. We're going to weigh old parts. We're going to compare the old parts to the new choices that I did, talk about why I made those choices and why I went with what I did. But by the end of this video, you're gonna have a really good idea of over like what all this Dolomite actually comes with, and kind of just like grease and all that stuff and just everything in general over this. I'm also gonna do measurements for like the actual bottom bracket and stuff like that. So we're gonna go over quite a bit in this video. I have a feeling this video is going to be a little bit longer, so if this is a bike that you're looking at buying and or wanting to upgrade, I'm really hoping that this video is going to be something that you are looking for and that's going to be a really big help to you. So let's start with the upgrades I'm going to be doing. I got a micro shift Advent setup that's going on. I am going to be changing it to a one by. I'm in the process of trying to figure out what kind of hollow tech style bottom bracket I can get, but as of right now we're just gonna go with these bad boys and a oval chain ring to swap all that out and ideally save some weight there. So this stuff will all be linked in the actual description of this video, but I believe these were like 30 bucks, so for just switching it to one by and keeping the same square taper bottom bracket, why not? This is a super easy, simple upgrade to do. Does take a specialty tool, which I'll go over the tools as well as I do the upgrades. So, oval ring I went with. These I'm really interested in. So, I usually don't skimp on hydraulic brakes because I think brakes are very important. But I was able to get two of these for like 50 bucks. And these are those buckless ones. Oh no, they're Zoom, I'm sorry, iZoom. Which, it's always such a weird situation. As it says bucklow sometimes and then it's iZoom and other things. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But I got some pretty cheap hydraulic disc brakes, and if you watched the other video, I was pretty impressed with these cable actuated brakes, so I'm really interested to see how these work and do. And also I kind of want to do a little bit more research because it looks like it's got a bleed port right here to do like the actual Shimano style bleeding. So I'm interested to see what that looks like and how that works. So I'm excited to try out these brakes, especially for $50 for hydraulic brakes for a set. That's awesome. Went with a cool stem. I was gonna go with the wake stem, but decided for the little bit extra money, I wanted to get this one just because I thought it looked better. And it's got the oil slick style nuts on them, or I guess bolts technically. But I really like the way this looks. And this was like $26, and I mean for 26 bucks, I think this is a really nice deal for a stem. I think it's just absolutely gorgeous looking. So there's that so far. 34.9, so 34.9 seat post collar to replace the black one because I'm going to go with red accents on my bike. So got that. Oh, KMC 10-speed chain for the Advent X to switch over. I got some bling bling red rotor bolts just to put on for the disc. I just thought that would be fun to do, so I got those. Now this is something I'm really interested in because this will potentially save on weight and rotational mass. Now this is something you definitely do not need to do, but I'm really interested to see how much the inner tube's in that way compared to these ones. So I have some new inner tubes to switch out. Those are Schrader style. This is a Presta style. That is drilled out for a Schrader, but it should be fine. I got the little screw and stuff. I'm not too worried about that. Maybe an O-ring to help make it fit a little tighter if I have to. Got some fancy red cable. That's gonna go for the Advent X to replace that black, just for more accents. Got some nice red lock-on grips. I am a huge fan of lock-on grips. I do not like the slip-on style, just from the amount of times I have to take things off and put things on. It's just so much easier for a lock-on. These were some leftover parts I had, so I have a G5. This is for my old Canyon Strive that I'm gonna throw on here to widen those handlebars. This is 780. I know if you watched again my first video, I didn't really like the length of those bars, so I'm gonna put those on. Got a nice SDG saddle. Again, this was actually for my Canyon Strive as well. So I'll put that on there. This saddle's actually not bad though. And this is what I'm really excited about for this. But I got a Pnw Dropper Post. So we'll throw that bad boy on there, and it is external. That's very important to know. This does not have internal routing for a dropper post, so you will need to get a external style dropper. Pnw, I absolutely love Pnw. If you've watched this channel at all, I will swear by their stuff. They have a lifetime warranty. Anytime I've had an issue, which honestly the only issue I've ever had was a clamp I got wasn't the right size, and it was taken care of so easy. So that was awesome. And to round out all my fun stuff, I have a nice black and red Pnw loam lever for the dropper post. So we're gonna start taking all this other stuff off. We're gonna weigh some of the stuff and compare it, put the new stuff on, and I really think this bike's gonna be entirely transformed after this video, and I'm so excited to get it on the trail. So depending on how long this video is, I might have a little trail snippet at the end, but if this video goes a little long like I think it's going to, I probably won't, and we'll just save that video for another day. But let's break this bad boy down. Let's get these reflectors off. Let's get the dork discs off, and I guess there's only one, so just the dork disc. But let's start transforming this Dolomite. I'm so stoked. Let's get going. To start with, we're gonna go ahead and take the wheels off. We'll get these off, and just to kind of be able to get around the bike easier. So I'm just kind of taking off a lot of these parts that I'm not worried about, such as things I know I'm replacing and things I'm not worried about weighing, so we can get into the more giddy stuff. So the next time you see the bike here in a second, it's going to look different, but there's a reason why, so I just wanted to share that real quick. Since I'm going to be switching this to a 1x, I will be breaking this chain so I can get the front derailleur off. I'm going to weigh the front derailleur with its cable and housing and the front shifter to see what that weighs. Alright, so I'm going to put this all together just kind of like this. Still got the cable and everything in it. Might be a little weird to weigh it like this, but I think this is the easiest way to do it. I got my scale over there, just hung up. Right now it's in kilograms. I'll switch it in just a minute. So 0.380 kilograms, 0.84 pounds. So this is almost a pound shedding. So far so good. Now we're going to take off the 2x cranks. We're going to switch the pedals over. I'm going to weigh those and weigh them compared to my new cranks that I have and see what that looks like. And I've heard these are kind of a pain to get off with the crank puller, so let's see what happens. I use a CCP 22 for my crank extraction tool, and I really like that tool. I think it does a good job. I've used it for a lot of square taper bottom brackets now, and it's always done a real good job. So this outside is just an 8mm. You'll want to reuse this actually for the new bottom bracket, or for the new crank arm, so definitely keep that handy. And then all you do is, so there's two pieces here. This top piece will screw in to the threads of this. And I have actually cross-threaded that before, so be careful. And you'll kind of just tighten that until it bottoms out. And now all you gotta do is do this outside part into that bolt. And eventually it'll touch the bottom bracket. And then you just push it. And it'll get kind of tough. Good golly, yeah. That was on there pretty good. Then you just unscrew it. I did never really feel like I was going to break it getting it off, but that little part's on the inside of this and it fits into that square part. And that's what pushes against the bottom of the square taper to get it out. So that's how these work. So, not terrible. Not the best. That one was not as hard as the first one. I would put that other side as a normal one. I don't know, like I said, I've read people say that they're really hard to get off. But this one, honestly, when I was putting it together, it's probably hard to see on the inside in here, but it almost looks like it started to like get cross-threaded whenever they put it on. So luckily this was able to screw in no problem, but I see some shavings in there. I like the actual, looks like the threads, so I was a little worried about that for a second, but got it off. So It is what it is. I went with a oval tooth style chain ring, and it's important to know that whenever you're putting this on, you want the oval oriented like this. So you can tell how it's more, these are the more squish sides, so it's smaller here-ish and bigger here. So it's whenever you're pedaling with the biggest as you put down your weight on your foot and the pressure, because that's what makes an oval tooth work. It's so whenever you have the most strength in your leg to push is the biggest part, and as it comes back around it goes to the small and then the big again. If you have it the opposite way, you're not going to have a fun time with an oval ring, and it's not going to even seem like it's actually doing what it's supposed to be doing. But I'm a big advocate for oval rings, and I absolutely love them. I know these are kind of one of those things where people are either totally for them or totally against them, but I have used them pretty well on all my bikes now, and I absolutely love oval rings. So I've been wanting to try this snaggletooth one for a while and decided to finally get one. So let's get this put on this, and then we'll compare the two cranks in weight, and then we'll take a look at the bottom bracket. We're going to check the weight of the 2x first, and then we'll switch over to the 1x and see what the difference in weight is. Alright, so the 2x is 1.74 pounds. And we got in kilograms, 0.79, so 0.8 pretty well. Alright, so let's see what the difference is. So we have 1.74 and the Action FMX, or it's FMFXTR, I can't even say it. Oh, that's not going to fit there very well. Let's figure this out. Oh, I can just do this. There we go. It is 1.45 pounds and 0.660 kilograms. So not a huge weight difference, but definitely a weight difference. So that's good to know. But these, it's weird though, because it's not a big difference, but you can definitely tell the difference in weight, especially from the different style materials. So I'm guessing this is probably steel and this is aluminum. I might be 100% wrong there, but also I went with 170 crank arms, and it comes with 175 crank arms. So that's something to keep in mind. And my size is a medium. So I was not planning on taking out this bottom bracket, but I'd really like to get a better look at it and just kind of see what it is, what it's about, that kind of thing. So, and this is just going to be a dust cover on this side then, but see what it says. It says 167 millimeter, and it's a Neko. But that is a sealed bearing cartridge. So, something to keep in mind over this though is if you were to switch to an external bottom bracket, that would save quite a bit of weight compared to this, because this thing's heavy. I don't know if I have a good way to get this or try it. So it's 0.395 kilograms, 0.87 pounds. It weighs more than the crank arms. This is hefty. So, but it's sealed and it feels pretty greased, so that's good. But I am going to go ahead and clean it and grease it, so just because I have it off, so there's no reason not to. And yes, Park Tool grease. It's good. And for my bottom bracket tool, this is a foundation. I'll put a link into the description for the one I use for my bottom brackets. I don't know if this one's still available though, but I'll get an appropriate one in there for you guys. New cranks are on. That red looks so good. I will put in a link to one of the headsets that will work for this if that's something you do want to do. But keep in mind, you will need something to bang out a headset, and you'll need something to press it in with. And for me, this is the headset press I have. It works fine. I think I got it for like $20 if I remember right. And then this is the cup removal tool that I use, and it works fine. Nothing too crazy, but it has a nice little fancy star nut tool in the top. But it's not bad. It gets the job done. Curiosity got the best of me, and I want to see the weight difference in the stems. I don't think this is gonna be much at all, but I'm like the perfect height for this shelf, close, almost. Like, I can't stand but 100%. All right, original extra long stem is 0.37 pounds, or, oh, I passed it, 0.17 kilograms, so 0.37 pounds, and the new cool stem is 0.28, so it is lighter. Like I said, I knew it was going to be light by a ton, but it is lighter. So an upgrade that lighter is just a better upgrade. Let's get the front back on. I got the fork back in, bearings all nice and greased, new stem on. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the new handlebars real quick. New handlebars, new stem is on the Dolomite. So far it's looking really good. I'm digging the red. Red looks awesome. So I got the rear derailleur off. I have the front shifter off. I'm going to measure my new red wires based off of these ones and cut them to this length just because it'll be easier than having to do it myself. So something to keep in mind if you're changing out the color of your cable like I am. I do need to get the rear cassette off of this bad boy. So let's do that. Got the cassette off. As you can see, it is a Shimano styled cassette. So that's pretty cool. I guess a Shimano styled hub, but got the dork disc off, so now you guys can stop bullying me over that. Of course, if you'd like to leave the dork disc on, by all means, that's up to you. But, oh, hang on. I'm talking about the dork disc and I still got the reflector right there on. All right, let's get that taken off. There we go. Dork disc and reflectors off now. Now we're in business. I'm gonna go ahead and compare weights of the cassettes. So I'll get all these parts on here from this original cassette. All right, so this cassette weighs 0.79 pounds and it is 0.36 kilograms. Here is the Microshift Advent X cassette. Let's see what it weighs compared to 0.79 pounds. Okay, so just that bit right there is 0.89, so it's already 0.1 pound more. And it's 0.405 kilograms. So, and we still have just a few more to add real quick so I can add it. I just have this little hook, so it's kind of hard to do it all at once sometimes. So 0.89, and we have 0.89 plus 0.4. So it's 0.93 total. So a little bit heavier, but you're going to a much more wide range cassette. So that one's worth the trade-off in my opinion. This is the new tube. And the tubes I went with were Q tubes. They're 26 by 3.5 to 4 inches. And as I said, they are pressed valves, or 32 millimeters for the stems. And then here are the old inner tubes. And I know it says on it somewhere. Here it is. They are Choyang, C-H-O-Y-A-N-G, 26 by 4.0 to 4.9. So these are 4 to 5 inch tube tires. Tubes. This original one weighs 1.14 pounds and it is 0.52 kilograms. So 1.14 pounds. The Q tubes weigh 0.95 pounds. And in kilograms, it is 0.43. So now that doesn't seem like a lot of weight necessarily, but the important thing about that is it is rotational mass too, so kind of goes with it differently. But so that's nice, a little bit of weight savings there. So with the fat tire bike, I feel like all the little bits that we can save is definitely good. So I'm gonna put the new tubes and the wheel back on and all that stuff and get that all together. But while I was back here messing with the wheels before the drivetrain, I wanted to go ahead and get that all switched around. So front and rear wheel are done. The new inner tubes are in. I put those red bolts on them real quick to get that taken care of. So now it is time to finish the actual drive train. So let's check out the weight difference between the rear derailleur of the original microshift and of the new one. And also, if you guys have never seen this Advent X stuff before, I actually have an unboxing video on my channel if you want to go check that out by all means. But you can obviously tell this one's a little bit more heftier. It's definitely built better too. This has got a lot of plastic. This is definitely not plastic. All right, so we will weigh the original rear mech first. In kilograms, it is exactly 300. In pounds, it is 0.66. All right, so that is the original. The Advent X is 0.69, so that's really close. So 0.69 pounds, and in kilograms is 0.315. So that's not bad at all. Pretty close for being quite a bit more of a substantial derailleur in my opinion. That's not the right size Allen key. I felt so confident in that too. All right, so now let's compare the shifters. So there's the original, new one. Quite a bit more material on this one because of the window. I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference in the weight department, but. All right, original microshift weighs 0.130 kilograms and 0.28 pounds. New one weighs 0.26 pounds, so that one's lighter. And it's 0.12 kilograms, 0.120. So this one is actually lighter. So that's nice. Okay, we're gonna start cabling it together, and then we're gonna get it all ready to go and start working on it, and we're getting closer. We're getting closer. Whew. We are starting to look like a bike, which is very exciting. So, I got the red cable put on for around the side. Got all of the actual drivetrain on now. We got to put the chain on still, so I guess technically we don't have all the drivetrain. But we're going to fit this, get that on, get it shifting, I think pretty good. And then we'll just keep on trucking from there. Whew, shifting good. I like this micro shift. I'm gonna go ahead and put the dropper post in, and then we'll get that routed. And then after that, we'll get the brakes put on and see what that's like. And then honestly, we should be pretty well done with this. So far so good. I don't think this has been too terrible by any means. Basic bike part swap, and I really enjoyed getting it down to the frame. So let's go ahead and keep on going and wrap this bad boy up. So this dropper post is a Pnw Cascade. It is a 30-1/6 by 150. So it's got a 150 millimeter drop, which I'm very excited about this thing. I love dropper posts. I just really think they totally change the way bikes are. And one of the cool things about putting a dropper on this bike specifically is the cable that was used for the one bike. You could totally use that to route your dropper post cable, and that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to start that and see what we got going. I typically use Jaguar cable when I do the little like accented color cables, and I wanted to for this one to use the cheaper one just because I was kind of trying to do a budget build, and I decided to get the cable on Amazon for, how much was it? I think it was about $10. And the really cool thing about this bike is, since it has the cutouts so the cable shows, I've not had to use as much cable as I needed to. And after I've done all of the drivetrain, and I have a little part right here for the first part of the dropper post, I still have quite a bit of cable. So I'm gonna have enough cable to do actually the rest of the dropper post cable and red as well. And I'll still have a little bit left over. I won't have enough to really do anything with. But that's kind of cool to know that I can spend, you can spend $10 on a medium-sized Dolomite and get enough cable to do the drivetrain and a dropper post if you decide to do that. Or to switch to the 2x if you decide to keep the 2x, because you'll have enough for that too. So that's really neat. External dropper post, easy peasy. And Pnw is just awesome. I love their stuff. So let's start working on the brakes. And I guess we're pretty well done, man. I'm sure this video is not as long as it actually really took me. But so far so good. I'm really happy with the way it's turning out. Those reds are just awesome looking. I really like how those turned out. So these were the grips I decided to go with. They were pretty cheap on Amazon. Ooh, nice. I like that these cheaper bike parts on Amazon are actually coming with, which I mean, this is definitely not necessary, so it's kind of cool that they do this, but come with little Allen keys. But these ones got some nice bar plugs in the end and just some nice red again. So grips are on, grips look good. I guess really it's just brakes and front wheel now. When I ordered these brakes, I was reading that they were pretty good on the Amazon comments, but I was also reading that these brakes were being shipped with the different style of braking. So the rear and front were reversed for us in the States, which we ride with the front as the left and the rear as the right. And they were being shipped the opposite, which was the rear as the left and the front as the right. And it looks like that is what happened with mine as well. So they're set up with that as the opposite. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be as careful as I can to remove this bolt right here and flip-flop them around. You could easily and probably will lose some oil when you do this, or I guess hydraulic fluid. So just keep that in mind if you're going to do that and not keep it the way they come. Well, this is the first time I've ever done every upgrade on a bike in one video. I know it's been a little bit of a longer one than what I typically do, but ideally if you did make it to this point, you either just enjoyed the video or you did learn something from this. So if there's anything I left out or that you were wondering specifically, please put them in the comments for me and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. But the very last thing that I would like to do on this bike is weigh it and see what it weighs now. So let's see what the new weight of the Dolomite ALX is after I've done all these upgrades. So the official new weight is 35 pounds. So 35.32 pounds. And in kilograms, this bad boy is 16.02. So shed a few pounds compared to how it was out of the box. This bike, honestly, has been entirely transformed now. It's gonna ride like an entirely different bike. I think just between the dropper post, the new stem, and the handlebars, it's going to be a huge difference. I'm so excited to get this on the trails. And definitely keep an eye out for that video because I will definitely be doing another trail video on this here soon. And I will definitely be doing a new review on how I think all these awesome new parts are doing. So, any questions, please put them in the comments. Other than that, thank you so very much for watching. And until next time, all of you take care.